Yeah.
How was Bogotá? How was the night in Israel?
Not good.
Not good?
They're still throwing bombs.
But missiles from Iran are coming?
Yep.
So what does it mean there is a ceasefire?
I don't think there is one.
Half and half. They're going to retaliate. They're not going to retaliate, but a number of people were killed in Beersheba.
How about Trump? They said Trump's blaming Israel.
Trump is what?
Blaming Israel. Oh.
The point is you have no one to deal with. Open a second, Shulchan Aruch Yoreh De'ah Shin-Hei, 305.
Shin what?
Shin-Hei, 305. Tzfat Gedol HaBen is mentioned here. Tzfat Gedol HaBen is mentioned in Parashat Bo.
Which halacha?
Halacha Aleph. Shin-Hei, Seif Aleph. Shulchan Aruch says, מצוות עשה, לפדות כל איש מישראל בנו, שהוא בכור לאמו הישראלית, 15 ילדים. So Shulchan Aruch says the mother has to be a non-Kohen, either Levi. The father has to give the Kohen. The Shulchan Aruch is telling us in his time what is 15, as we mentioned yesterday. In today's day and age, it's approximately 3.5, the value of 3.5 ounces of silver. Now here is the question. Okay, let's see, Gimel, let's say that. Siman Shin-Hei.
Yes, Shin-Hei, which
We learn Seif Aleph. Let's see, Seif Bet, Ein HaIsha Chayevet לפדות את בנה. הגמרא is a pasuk, the same as Brit Milah, the same as Pidyon HaBen. Whoever is obligated to be redeemed, there's an obligation to redeem his son. A woman is not obligated to be redeemed even if she's a Bechorah. She's not obligated to redeem her son. Says the Shulchan Aruch, אלו 15 נותנם לכהן או בכסף או בשווה כסף. Either you give him silver, remember the silver coins, the minted coins that we have, it's cute, it's a business. But basically it means you have to give him the value of, so either you give him all the American dollars, the total 3.5 ounces of silver, or today you have like pure silver, it looks better if you do it with 5, it's pure. You give him a cup, a wine cup, you can give him a candlesticks, you can give him a pair of shoes, you can give him a set of art scroll in Hebrew and English, yes? As long as the Kohen is willing to accept it, and the market value of the item that you give the Kohen is equal to 3.5 ounces of silver.
You said something interesting. The Kohen has to be willing, in other words, he has to accept 5 slayim, but he doesn't have to accept the value of shoes.
Good, I'll explain to you why. Because let's say the Kohen, regular American Kohen, and I have a set for him of art school in Hebrew, which is approximately $1,200. To him, it's meaningless. He says, you're giving me nothing. You're giving me nothing. If he needs a pair of shoes, of course, a pair of shoes, I have to put it out. Of course, it's good. So if you're giving him silver, regardless if you need a silver or not, you gave him 5 slabs of silver, yes. If I'm asking you a question, I'm going into your business and the price of the item I'm buying is $100,000, I'm taking out a pair of shoes. I know that your size is 8.5 extra wide. I'm not interested in shoes, but I'm giving you. The answer is, if it's silver, if it's money, money is accepted by everyone. Because, I mean, I hear your point. Your point is that Maaseh, he got the money.
Right.
But the reason I'm saying it is because you'll see in a minute that look a second and see if Hayes. Look at Sif Hay. Sif Hay. נתן לו כלי שאינו שווה בשוק 15. The case of the Gemara is he gave him a hat. The value of this hat in the market is 4 slaves. And the Kohen desperately needs a hat because tonight he has a wedding. Yes? וקיבלו הכהן 5 סלעים, הרי בנו פדו. See, this is a reverse case. Something that you are desperate to get, you'll pay more for it. Which means, even though the market, the regular market is 4, as long you cannot take something that is 1 seller and say it's 5. No one will pay 5 for it. And listen carefully to the following question, but listen carefully. What happens if the Kohen has special medical needs? And I'm giving him something that he is desperately need. However, I cannot benefit from it. For instance, I'm making up the case just to illustrate the case. The Kohen must eat every day, for health reasons, a pound of grapes. A pound of grapes that I give him is Orla. Orla is a subana. For me, I cannot give it to my animals. I cannot sell it to a guru. But for the Kohen, it's 100% money. He pays every day. So are the 5 sla'im measured by me? I am the father, or as long as the Kohen received 5 sla'im. This is a Hakira in the Sefer Minchat Chinuch. Here it's an interesting question.
The grapes really have no value, Rabbi, unless because they're Orla. You can't. Nobody has a value to them, but they have to be redeemed, don't they?
Let's say again, the mitzvah of Pidyon HaBen is the father has to give the Kohen 5 sla'im. Is it the Kohen has to receive it, and on behalf of the newborn baby, and is redeemed by that? Or the father has to give it. The father gave nothing. Because a pound of Orla, this Hakira is written in Sefer Mishneh LeMelech, and the same question exactly as a marriage. If the husband gave the wife something that for her is very important, for health reasons, she can benefit from it. To him, it's nothing.
But I'm not sure, isn't it asur to her? Isn't it asur to the Kohen, the thing? Isn't it worthless to him?
Assuming, I said, if the Kohen has medical needs.
But
He thinks it's a sakana issue or something? He's allowed to have this?
Sakana doesn't make any difference. The point is, it has a market value. Pidyon HaBen is market value.
Rabbi, I
Would
give
you
you the same value in cheeseburgers.
Do you think Chametz bePesach?
Yes, Chametz for Pesach, cheeseburgers. Even more cheeseburgers, Rabbi. Asur b'hana.
If the Kohen if the Kohen needs it, and for him, he has to get grapes every day, yes? This is a Hakira.
But you know what, what you read to us before, it doesn't seem like the obligation to podes something relies on the Kohen. It depends on the Balabayit. It says,
Yes, I'm reading you the language here. I'm reading from Sefer Melchat Chinuch, it's on the table by me.
but look just what the Rambam says.
Yes, of course, we'll look at the Rambam.
The Shulchan Aruch says, notnim lekohen bekesef u'b'shava mikol det sheyirtze, not mikol davar sheyirtze lekabel el Moshe rotze latei.
Okay, a minute. Hayen Mishneh LeMelech Perek Hey Melechot Yeshut. Yeshut is marriage. Shechakar. Bei Kiddushay Isha. The marriage. Tzarich Shaveh Pruta. You have to give her something valuable. Im Batar Hanoten Gam Ken Azlina. The husband has to give a Pruta, and of course she has to receive it. Or Batar Isha Azlina. ואפילו אינו שווה פרוטה, כגון דבר שנאסר בקונם על הבעל. Okay, the example he gives is, it's an item that the husband personally cannot benefit from because someone made it asur on בקונם. And then, והדברים עתיקים, says the מנחת חינוך, יש לחקור גם כאן. Listen to his language, listen to the חקירה. אם הקפידה התורה על הפודה גם כן, צריך שישווה אצלו 5 להם, I am the father. I have to give an item that by me it's 5 להם. או אין הקפידת הלול רק בכהן המקבל. Yes. Then he brings אליי, וכן לעניין ייסורי הנאה, והכהן חולה, זה מותר אצלו. And the truth is, there is a Sefer on Yom Tov, and he wants to say something new, but remember, this is new. He is saying that the minute the item is asur b'hana'ah, it's not in the world we live in, it doesn't have any value. The recipient can benefit from it. But if the Torah said that you have to give, or she or he, the Kohen, has to receive, he received nothing. He receives an item that he personally is permitted to benefit because he received, or because whatever, yes. But here the Mishneh LeMelech is choker the Hakira by regular marriage, and the Melchat Chinuch applies it here, and
But could I ask you a question about when you always teach us, or when we ever learn, it says pruta or shava pruta, right?
yes.
So, but it's very interesting when we read the Shulchan Aruch, it says when it gives an amount, but then he adds the kesef, b'shava kesef. Okay, but then he says mikol davar sheyirtze. But in a marriage, could the man? What happens if the woman doesn't want what the value of a pruta that the man gives her?
I mean, she says, I'm willing to get married only if you give me a ring of 100,000.
But the pruta that she wants, he gives her a shava pruta. I don't know what a shava.
Very good question.
Because here he answers b'chol davar sheyirtze. Doesn't, I don't know if it says that by a chatunah.
Please listen a minute. You're like, can you find the difference between kiddushin and pidyon haben? See, in pidyon haben, the Kohen, for the sake of our argument now, is the Kohen is a dummy. My mitzvah is make sure that this dummy gets 5 shkalim. Yes? I don't care what you say. Yes? I don't care what you say. By Kiddushin, she has to agree to sell herself.
But
To
the
make
kinyan,
herself married to the husband.
isn't the kiddushin a sort of kinyan? So you have to have 2 parties to have a kinyan.
This is exactly the point what Eli is saying. Kiddushin is a kinyan. If I'm coming to you, Larry, I'm interested in buying this book from you, I'm offering you $1,000. You say 1,500. It's 1,500, it's yours. She she is agreeing to be married to him for the value of the ring, for the value of the coin. If she says, I want 100 times more, otherwise I'm not married to you. See the difference? At Pidyon Ben, the Torah says here, Mel Cohen is a Kohen. If he receives on behalf of my son is redeemed. This is why the Mishneh Melech is thinking by marriage. By a marriage, it's hell. She has to agree to get married. For her, a pound of grapes, that for me and you is asur b'hana'a, is very valuable. But is the husband obligated to give or not? This is the Mishneh Melech. Says the Minchas Chinuch, the exact same question we have here. Is I am a father. The Torah says, I am supervising the redemption of my son by giving it to the Kohen. By the way, we dedicate our class today for the refuah of Chachamim Ben Purin, as the rabbi said before. He's undergoing small procedure today, B'ezrat Hashem. He's successful. תחשוב על זה, whatever we think, but this is what the Mishneh Melech used to think.
So
Fascinating case, yes.
if the Kohen is a Nazir and you want to redeem your son with wine, can he sell it?
David is asking an interesting question. I'm giving the Kohen a bottle of wine. It has $100 market value, which is Chamesh Laim. It's kosher wine, but the Kohen happens to be a Nazir. So he received an idea that he cannot benefit from it. But the bottle of wine certainly has market value.
But it's,
The market value is, this is what the Shulchan Aruch means, Shaveh Kesef.
yes, but
Kohen cannot drink wine for the next half a year.
But it's not asur b'hana'a, is he?
Meet to any good friend of his, and he gets for it $100.
Yeah, so you could sell it.
What about cheeseburger before I said earlier?
You can't benefit from it.
Cheeseburger, you cannot benefit.
But it has a value, it has a street value.
This is the difference between the wine and the cheeseburger. The wine, you can sell it to anyone you want. You can give it to yourself or your wife.
Correct.
But a cheeseburger
I can't
is
do it.
sold to
Zero.
everyone, so for you, it doesn't have any market
It
value.
has no market value to a Jew.
but the thing isn't, it's the mitzvah is on the gavra of the man to be.
You do realize that this chakira is who is the mitzvah on. You're trying to.
That's a whole discussion, but where else do I, so if I want to give someone staka, I have to give them what they want, or do I have to give them the value of
But
something?
again, you hear what he says? He says, if I give tzedakah, the answer is my mitzvah is that he should get something that he can sustain himself or buy clothes. My partly if you want it or not. Here, the Torah made me the father in charge of redeeming.
So let's ask a question. I'm in Antarctic with my wife, and she gives birth to a first, and there's no Kohen there.
Right.
So could I put aside $5 in a,
We'll talk about it in a minute. The money that you put aside is not a pidyon until the Kohen got it. Yes? So if you are saying the 31st day came, there's no Kohen about, you're taking 5 silver coins and you dedicate it to the pidyon ben. Until the Kohen received it, it's not. It's not. If
what
the
if I put aside a pack, what if I put aside a book, a set of books? Again, the same question.
Again, but if you know that this particular Kohen you have in mind is very interested in those books, this you gave him $5.
But the person who gets the Kohen who got the books could also do a pidyon and sell the books to somebody else. He still has the value of the money.
Okay, now I understand. So you got you're going back to the previous question. What happens if the Kohen says, I want money? I want money. You're asking me, I gave him a set of arts called Chumash, the new edition of Chumash Rashi. It's a market value of $180. Even if he refuses to get it, I'm going to, to be honest, I have to look into it. So I have to see what the commentators say. If the Kohen refuses to accept it, but you gave it to him.
Do we have any other examples
Obviously,
where
way
I,
of this type of a question is
Isn't
based
it?
to other places, obviously, yes.
no, but like what, for example, I mean, if I have to give Reshit Hagez,
Most likely, I mean, it's the same type of question.
what happens if the Kohen doesn't want to accept my Reshit Hagez? He says, Mail, I don't.
Exactly the same type of a question, obviously. Is the
Yeah.
mitzvah make sure he has it, or the mitzvah is receiving it?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but this is exactly our question. If you ask me now before we look, the answer is he has to receive. You understand? If I drop an envelope of money under the door of the Kohen, and legally it belongs to him, yes?
Well, there's the question of Pumfakir. The Kohen happens to be one of our Kohanim here is exceedingly wealthy. What is another 5 sla'im to him? But I give him a copy of the Rambam's Sefer Chinuch that, or the Rambam's, you know what I'm talking about. That's already a matana that he would really want. Well, he doesn't want 5 sla'im. It goes the opposite.
The Torah tells us 5 sla'im.
The Torah says, I'm not interested if you needed the money or not. In a minute you'll see it. In a minute we'll talk about it. What happened if the father of the baby is a poor man? He says to the Kohen, of course I'm going to give my baby. But Be'emet, I'm giving it to you on the condition that you give it back to me. It's called matana amenat la'achzir. In a minute you'll see that theoretically the answer is yeah, my son.
But ask the question again different. Suppose I'm a baker and I'm a poor baker. I don't have 5 sla'im, but I have sponge cake. And can I give him sponge cake that's worth more?
100%.
Yeah, the value of the value.
But what happens if the Kohen? What happens if the Kohen's a diabetic and he doesn't want sponge cake?
I don't want
But
sponge
the
cake.
Kohen can sell the sponge cake to someone that is not diabetic. And
So why don't you say the same thing about a book?
Well, I gotta
This
give
is
it to the
our
expense
question.
to sell
לא
it.
שומע. אתה שאלת אותי. Everyone agrees if the Kohen says, I desperately need the money, give it to me in a sponge cake, shoes, or roses, or a tie. Perfect.
I'll take it.
Even though I cannot benefit from it, I'll sell it. Our question is, can I push it on him if he doesn't want it? This is your question. He
Sure.
received it.
Right. You don't want it, right, you don't want it.
He received it.
He doesn't want it.
I did, doesn't want it. Mel said,
I don't want it. What am I gonna do with 18 pounds of sponge
Yeah,
cake?
but here's the point. If he doesn't want it, the Kohen doesn't become the owner of the sponge cake.
But
Then
it's not the thing of the Kohen. It's the person. It's poded. The person has to give his son.
This is our discussion.
Right. So let's.
How
Okay.
is the mitzvah being defined? I am the father. I have to deliver him something that he wants or needs. But we are saying as long as the Kohen got it, my son it makes sense that legally the Kohen has to become the owner of the money, the owner of the head, the owner of the shoes, the owner of the sponge cake. If he doesn't want it, he never got it. I'm asking you a question. Someone is coming to your office and he's pushing on you something, and you are saying no, but you're holding it. The answer is it's not yours, and your office worker can take it away from you, and he didn't take anything from you. It's not yours. Owning an item means I'm receiving it, yes. I'm receiving it and I have a desire, I have a ratzon, I have knowledge that I want it.
You know, but you could say, but again, I don't want to accept your apology to me, but hilchot tshuva. But by the 3rd time, I'm required to accept it. I mean, I never heard of something that someone doesn't want to accept something where the mitzvah's on me and he can't accept it. I mean, I need another example.
Let's start from scratch. Everyone agrees that if the Kohen is worthless, let's say cheeseburger, the example we gave Allah, but for me, I'm the father. For me, it's life. My son is not Padu. I don't care this pound of grapes because I gave nothing to the Kohen. Agree. We are talking about the opposite. Is the mitzvah that he should get something that he wants to have, even though for me, the giver, it's worthless and I cannot benefit from it? Or no? So again, so you push the case a step further, and you say, what happens if he doesn't want it? So we're discussing it, and logic says there's no pidyon there. Because
What happens if he doesn't want the 5 slayim?
But the Torah says that 5 slayim to market.
Eli, suppose you're the Kohen, and you know what? You don't want 5 slayim.
Eli is asking, Eli, someone walks into your business and gives you $100 and says, I don't want it. I don't want it. You have it in your hand. The answer is it's not Eli Taro's money.
But the difference is I can't tell him I want gold, not silver today.
Correct. You cannot.
Saying that the Torah is specifying the silver, so
Right. But what happens if
I
nobody
change that. I want gold.
cannot make conditions? Okay. You cannot make conditions. What? Okay. I have to be honest. I have to look. Okay.
Rabbi, see, if Chet, it says Amenat L'Hachzir says it's not okay. It seems.
I learned the Gemara in Kiddushin. I learned the Rambam. And if you read carefully, it says it's good, but it's not good because we are afraid that the father didn't give it belev shalem. We are afraid that the Kohen.
Shalem.
Okay.
Seif Chet.
And if the Israel doesn't have the money right now, he says, I'm going to owe it to you with that.
So Eli is asking what happened if the father doesn't have the money now. He gives the Kohen the IOU. The answer is the IOU is good for me and you, but not for the Kohen. The son is not redeemed until the money is not to the Kohen. Please look a second and see if אם רצה הכהן להחזיר לו הפדיון, because the father is poor, רשאי. This you understand.
Yeah.
As far as the Kohen, he got it, belongs to him. אם רצה, he wants to give it, fine. אבל לא ייתן הוא לכהן על מנת שיחזיר לו. You cannot, the father should not. This is what Eli meant before, yes? ואם עשה כן, להחזיר לו, Eli, look at the small print, ודעת הכהן הייתה מתחילה שלא לקבלו על מנת להחזיר, אין בנו פדוי, עד שיגמור בליבו, ניתן לו מתנה גמורה. אם רצה הכהן אחר כך להחזיר, יחזיר. ולא יהיה הכהן רגיל להחזיר. So let me give you the background. The Torah says that the first day of Sukkot,
That's the question, obviously.
be you full species. Everyone in Shul does it. If the rabbi has a very nice set, rabbi can give it to me, I'm not להחזיר. The answer is you're 100% the owner of the Arba Minim for the duration of the 10 minutes that you got it. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the key is that I, the owner, and you are the borrower, you know. Now,
He said, I don't return it, then I haven't fulfilled the mitzvah.
That's the question.
because retroactively it was never yours.
I'm gone.
But listen carefully. You daven Vatikin and Sukkot, you give it to me now for 45 minutes, I'm not להחזיר, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? David needs it also. I tell David, you really want it? $100. Can I make money on Eli? The answer is yes. You know why?
Because you have it for
For the
40.
duration of the 45 minutes that Eli Tower gave me is 100% money.
What happens if you change your mind? What happens if Eli says, you know what, I'm not giving it back?
Eli cannot change his mind. Eli gave it to me. No, I want you to understand what I'm saying. Please listen carefully. What happens if Eli says to me, I'm giving it to you for an hour? He doesn't say I'm giving it to you fully under condition to return. I'm giving it to you for an hour. Machloket Rishonim, Shulchan Aruch says it's not good. Can you see the difference? Rani, can you see the difference? what
Yeah,
is it?
of course, you don't own it, you're just borrowing it, just like you're not owning it, you're owning it, the first version is I own it.
There's
give-
ownership for an hour.
Gezel.
Wait a
That's
second.
full
What
hour.
happens? What happens if he gives it to him for an hour and during that hour he breaks the pitome and now it's worthless?
Right, right. Everyone
Is he a
everyone
shomachinam? Is he shomasach? What is he?
is a shomer. It depends if it's negligent or accident. If someone pushed him and the rope fell, this is honest. Honest is patur.
Patush.
But if he was negligent and his son was standing right there and he knows that he's a regular kid, and you see something cute, especially Peter, for a kid, it's an invitation to try if it comes off or not, then this is negligent. So you hear the difference? Eli gives it to me for an hour means I never got full ownership. I have a full hour of usage, but not ownership.
Right, but here's another situation, like Eli gives it to you, and while you have it, Rabbi, you decide to give to somebody else,
Yeah, but this is exactly.
and then he's gonna give it back to you.
But if Eli gives it to me, Almanat Lachzir means for the duration of the 60 minutes that I have it, I'm a full owner. I can sell it for the 60
Right.
minutes. I can lend it for anyone I want.
Right.
There are no restrictions.
So, Rep,
Right.
well, if I give it to you and I say you can have it for an hour, it's yours. After an hour, you still have it. Isn't it some kind of like now you still have, but isn't it like a gezel at that point?
It's not Gezer because it's not mine after an hour. You see?
So can I?
It's yours because you had returned. If I give you something, I'm lending something to somebody for an hour. After that hour, he still has it.
Well, let me tell you, I'm answering your question with the watch.
All right.
Listen good. If it's matana and not achzir, here, I'm taking out here. I gave me the pen matana and not achzir for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I have to give it to him and he has to make a new kinyan on it. You know why? Because now it's mine. I'm giving it to him. But if I got the pen for 15 minutes, after the 15 minutes, it's not my ownership expired. The usage expired. Eli doesn't have to make a new kinyan. Now you hear the chiluk? It's called, this is the language, matana lezman. It's a machloket rishonim. But the rishonim that say it's not good because matana lezman is not ownership. It's you usage for a specific time.
Right.
This is why midoraita, many Rishonim say that by Pidyon Haben, matana menak leachzir be'emet is good. If you think about it, the Kohen.
So let's say it's a crazy question. It's Sukkot, and I have to. It's the 30th day, and it's a pidyon haben. So I take a lulav matana lachzir and give it to a kohen?
Yes, the answer is yes.
But you get stuck if you give the money to the kohen amenat lahavzir and then he doesn't return it, then retroactively there's no pidyon.
Correct.
Your son loses a pidyon because he didn't give back the money.
But the point is, if you understand good what matanam and lachzir is,
Wow.
it should be good in Pidyon Haben. Again, if the Kohen says yes,
Yeah.
says, I want the 5 slayim. I want it. Don't tell me I'm not lachzir. If you give it to me on the condition to give it back, I'm not accepting it. This is why we are afraid that the giver, yes, didn't mean it, yes. Look at Seif Tet a second.
Wow.
Look at Seif Tet. Siman Shin Hey, Seif Tet. הפריש 5 סלעים לפדיון בנו, ונעבדו. Remember, Larry, you asked before, I'm a serviceman in Antarctica.
And he didn't give
My
it.
wife gave birth 30 days ago. I'm putting money aside. And I'm saying, when I come back from the service, the answer is your son is not Paduri until the Kohen receives it. However,
Wait, but what happens if the value of this?
David Anter is serving with me, and on the phone, I'm telling the Kohen, listen, are you willing that David Adler should make a kinyan on the 5 slayim on your behalf? Now it's yours. Here, I am giving it to David. David is lifting it on behalf of the Kohen.
So you could say,
It's for you, Abel. Why? Because the minute what?
he's a shaliach.
No, but the point is, even though the Kohen didn't receive it yet, but by Eli lifting it on behalf of the Kohen becomes the full owner. Yes?
But so let's ask the questions. What you're going to tell me now? I'm in the Antarctic, and I put aside 5 slayim of silver. At that day, silver was worth $1.
Oh.
The next until the Kohen gets it, if it's a fluctuation in price, he'd have to add or subtract.
Good question. The price of silver, if you remember, jumped from $10 an ounce to $50 because of the Hunt brothers. Yes. So he's saying, I designated the 5 slayim before the Hunt brothers pulled the trick.
When it says silver, it doesn't say value of the silver.
No. The point is, the silver is measured
By a value.
the value of their day. You have to give 100 grams of silver, which is 3.5. Yes. So, because we assume that when you designate it, which means the father that has to be produced today, right, has to check out what is the market value of silver, and you have to give the value of. But this is your understanding. So the answer to your question is the fact that I designated the money.
Not good.
Nothing. If David will make the kinyan on behalf of Rani Tawil, even though in the afternoon the price will jump to 50,
Doesn't matter.
fine, doesn't matter because the Rani Tawil got their 5 slayim when the value was
Rabbi, a Larry question. Can I wire him the money?
what?
Wire-
It's a very good question.
Well, wired is as good as having it.
You don't realize all these questions are questions in Choshev Mishpat in general.
Sure.
The minute you gave me money, you lent me $1,000. The minute you gave it to me, the money is mine 100%. If someone takes away the money from me, I owe you $1,000. Yes. If I take the money after a minute after you gave it to me, Mekadesh, which is Mekadesh, yes. So the minute the Kohen, let's say, the Kohen who is lending the money to the father, he says, I'm lending you the money. I'm using the language of the Gemara in Kiddushin, milveh lehotza'a nikna. Milveh means I'm lending it to you to be spent. Even though you have the 10 original $100 bills and you didn't use it, but it's yours from the second you received it from me. And this is the rule. So in your
Okay.
case,
Does it have to be, so does actually anything have to be in person? Does Larry says, I'm stuck in Antarctica and I want to wire the Kohen the money for the pigeon. Does anything have to be, do they have to be in the same room?
I mean, you have to make a kinyan. You have to make a kinyan. Remember that $100 bills are not good, neither IOUs, no checks.
So you know what? Based on what you told us, suppose what we've learned a lot of times, you can't do something shalom balolam. So Eli has stock futures, and he gives the Kohen of stock futures. He gave him nothing.
You know, the real answer is, it's okay. But the stock future is, what is the current price of your stock?
Oh, you could go do but you could back it into it.
If you offer it in the stock market, people would give you for that five slayim.
Best thing is to have a girl first and end all these problems. That's all.
We'll continue with that Hashem tomorrow.
Simcha, Rabbi Prague. Just have a good day and a good news. Only good news, everybody. Only good news.
Feel like the rabbi is going tonight for his daughter's wedding. Hopefully, he has a ticket and he believes that the plane is living.
Halavai.
But now that they broke the ceasefire, who knows if Halal would do it.
We hope.
Rabbi Scab has been stuck in Israel and supposedly told me he's going to come home tomorrow. Expecting.
I spoke to his father-in-law. He got a flight to IKEA tomorrow.
Ah.
I took anyway.